Welcome back to episode 97 of the Hops and Bobs podcast. I am Chris Tom.
Mike.
And it is us together again to do one more episode. This episode, we are doing the album Salt and Tar by Joey Harkum. And to pair that, we have the Surfside iced tea and vodkas made from Stateside Vodka is like the parent company.
Yes.
And they made these iced tea and vodka little pre-mixed drinks.
Yes. They have vodka sodas and they have let's see, and then they have the Stateside vodka tea, which is called Surfside. Apparently they have distillery stores in Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and DC.
All right. Well, if you're in those three areas, make sure to stop by and grab some because they have been kind of the drinks of the summer.
Oh, these are fantastic.
Yeah, Mike has definitely been on a Stateside like vodka soda kick during the summer,
Well,
and they've definitely been worth it.
They're low calorie, and gotta watch what's going on here. And then
summer bod.
They're so easy to drink.
Very true.
Which can be dangerous, but at the same time, that so cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah, very easy. And it's only 4.5% alcohol.
4.5%, 100 calories.
Even less than the one we did before.
And the thing with this is, like, you got your twisted teas.
I am a bit of a twee head, so.
But the sugar gets me after a while because they're a lot sweeter. These are, in my opinion, it literally tastes like you're drinking a very light iced tea. And you can't even really taste the vodka.
It's almost like a green tea almost. I mean, obviously you've got those iced tea kind of vibes as well, but the tea, I don't want to say plays like center focus, but like they play well together. Like one doesn't outshine the other.
Well, I mean, we all know that vodka is not the best flavor by itself.
No.
Vodka is a rough one. So, little rubbing alcohol vibe.
It's somewhere between antiseptic and poison.
But you don't get a lot of that vodka. You just get the tea, and it's a very good flavor. Because like even tea, like iced tea, if it's not done right, iced tea can have some weird taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I like how they do Stateside for everything, but because the iced tea and vodka is more of a summer blend, they go with the Surfside.
Yes. Yep. I saw that.
I like
the retro kind of like colors too.
I
and
love the
really
coloring. Cool. This can just screams, let's drink all summer.
Mm-hmm. So on their website, they have a little description of Surfside.
Okay.
Don't get it twisted. There are a lot of other iced teas out there.
I see what they did there.
Most of them are loaded with sugar and made with malt liquor. Surfside iced tea is proudly made with Stateside vodka, has 100 calories per can, and is non-carbonated because iced tea shouldn't have bubbles. Sunshine in a can.
I like it.
That's kind of their tagline. That was its own paragraph. Just said sunshine in a can.
And that's the major thing with these too, is like you get your seltzers, like your White Claws, and those are malt based. So they are essentially a beer. And these are vodka based. So they're not a malt liquor. Same thing. I believe Twisted Tea is a malt based product. So that you're getting the alcohol from that. You're not getting it from a vodka or something else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
I don't know how much you paid for these, but it says on their website they're only $9.99 for a 4-pack, which is
It's $10 for a 4-pack. I mean, it's not. Okay. Yeah, it's not expensive.
I mean, they are the slim cans, kind of in that seltzer can.
Yeah, they're 12 ounces. I mean, they're like everything else, but I just wish I didn't have to. But I mean, then again, the Stateside's come in an 8-pack and they're $18.99, so it's all the same.
Yeah. I mean, it's different than like an IPA where you'll get a 4-pack for like $22, and it's like, what the fuck? Where did that come from?
Yeah, so
I can appreciate that.
I can. I just wish you could buy them in a larger quantity and get a little bit less. I wish you could buy them in a 12-pack for $15. You know what I mean?
Well, if Stateside's listening right now, step your shit up.
Help us out here. Help a brother out.
Help a brother.
My
Where are
friend
they
Doug,
out of?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, they're Pennsylvania
I
based.
believe Pennsylvania is the main. Produced for Stateside Vodka, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Oh, they're out of Philly. Okay.
My buddy Doug works in the liquor business, and he turned me on to these because his company started selling them. So he got some through his salesman, his representative, and he brought them, and he brought them to me, and he goes, "You drink this, and I promise you, this is all we're gonna drink all summer." And I was like, "It's gonna be that good?" And
wow.
Yeah, it's just.
It's not just these; it's all their other products too.
Well, yeah. So you got the Stateside, which we'll do on an episode eventually.
Definitely.
We got to do it just a mix pack, and we'll just do it like a ranking. They have orange, black cherry, pineapple, and cucumber mint.
I love the cucumber mint.
I was gonna say that was the one that everyone's always like, this is gonna be different, but it almost has a mojito vibe to it. It's just
pretty much, yeah.
It grows on you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a big fan. You know, even for the Guilty Pleasures episode, I brought the Twisted Teas because every once in a while you gotta drink a little twee mix in there.
Yep.
But this definitely gives it a run for its money. This is a bit more authentic.
Yes.
So it's not really as much of a guilty pleasure. But yeah, the blend I think kind of takes over everything. The way they mix the two together.
Yeah, they do.
Really shines. Yeah, for sure. And I think a part of it too is that they're using their own vodka that they make.
Yeah.
So it's like they said, it's not a malt, and it's not, it's stealing some other guy's assets. This is homegrown Stateside vodka with whatever kind of iced tea they chose to make. Yeah. It's great.
I love it. I'm glad we made this choice to go with it for today.
Sure. Now, Mike.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Mr. Joey Harkum.
So again, I mentioned it a little bit in the end of the previous episode, but I was just listening to a random kind of whether it was a station or just a playlist or a band on shuffle, and Amazon does this nice thing where when you're done with whatever you picked, they just automatically go into similar music. And this is kind of where I find a lot of bands I've never heard of. Like I'll hear a song, hey, I like that. I'll go look at my phone, I'll see who it was, and then I'll start picking away at their discography. So the third track on this album, Sick and Tired, popped up on some playlist while I was sitting by the fire, and it caught my attention. I like the lyrics, I like the guitar playing, I like the vocals. I also had the hey, this would be a cool song for me to learn just because I like it. And so I went and looked, and then I found out that this was off of the new album Salt and Tar that came out in April. So I was like, oh, it's a new album, even better. So I played the album top to bottom almost instantly after hearing that. And I don't know, just really got into it. And again, it's not a song that I'm going to be out on the golf course playing and listening to, or having a good time with people and drinking and partying. It's a campfire. It's a put it on in the morning, later in the evening. It's got a chill vibe to it. But it's not classic reggae. It's not that, and beat on the guitar, and doesn't kind of have that vibe with the vocals either. It's a little more of just like acoustic.
Yeah. And I don't mean this to be rude at all, but sometimes with your choice of music, I get a little reggae'd out.
No,
there gets a point where I can reach that limit. I'm like, all right, I get it. It's another reggae. So this was a good change of pace. It was something that's not really in one genre specifically. No. It's basically just a guy and a guitar. I mean, you can say it's country, you can say it's kind of reggae, even almost maybe just indie or acoustic rock, whatever you want to call it. It's really just bass line, guy and guitar. There's a couple elements of like a second guitar, maybe like a clean electric picked solo here and there. Even in the first song, there's like very light percussion. I listened to it on my soundbar that I got pretty recently, and you could hear it a little bit more in there. But yeah, similar to the album we just did, it's pretty standard. Like there are some elements to it that do stand out, But this one, I think even more than our last album we did, is very, very straightforward. So
Yeah.
it's either you like it or you don't. And I think it's very chill, like you were
Oh yeah.
saying. It's not something you're gonna do too much to. This is something you
Nope.
kind of kick back, play at a fire, or
Yeah.
and it's simple enough, like you said, that you can learn it and play along to it.
Yep.
So I like those kind of aspects.
Yeah. So the title track is the opener, Salt and Tar. You can hear a couple of different guitars going on. I like his voice.
Yes, that was, well, I mean, that's the thing, is that it's so simplistic. There's not a lot of elements at play. Yeah. You kind of have to have a good voice if this is the kind of album you're putting out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, okay. I was gonna say his voice, and I really like his lyrics too. And if you really kind of start listening to him, like this one, the day that you were born, I realized that we're more than life to this. And then it goes, and again, it comes in, like you said, little guitar solo, got some tambourine going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough to not, just enough to spice it up.
Yeah, that's one of my major critiques of the album, is that sometimes it does get very repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
It does get a little sameish, but
I get that.
It's good though. It's very chill. I actually went to his Bandcamp because we were looking before. He doesn't have a Wikipedia or a huge social media presence.
No.
But he is from Pasadena, Maryland.
Okay.
And this little bio in his Bandcamp, it says, for his entire life, Joey Harkum has been strumming a guitar, and after a decade of touring as the lead singer and songwriter of Baltimore-based band Pasadena, has struck out on his own. Known for his deep and poignant lyrics, telling stories of joy, love, loss, and sadness, Joey brings the human experience to life through his relentless tour schedule. So I guess he's touring a lot.
Well, that actually makes a little more sense now, because like I said, how when you find somebody, it's like that whole idea of you see a blue car and now all of a sudden all you see is blue cars, because that's where your focus is. So I listened to this album, I listened to one of his other albums, that night that I found him, and I was like, really like this guy. So for the next couple of days, I listened to it on and off, and certain songs on and off. And all of a sudden on a Bumpin' Uglies page I follow on Facebook, they're putting out a song in August with him. He's featured on it. And I was like, oh, that's so random that I just learned of this guy. But what you just mentioned, Bumpin' Uglies, they're from Annapolis, Maryland. So
okay. Well,
sure, there's some connection through the local, music scene in Maryland that these guys came across each other.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of research. His other band, Pasadena, has been putting out music since 2008.
Okay.
I haven't really listened to it. He does have a song called Sick and Tired, which is one of their more popular songs, which is kind of interesting.
Must be on this album. Maybe he's solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. Maybe it's like a different version of it. It's 2.5 minutes, and the one on here is just about 2.5 minutes. So that's probably it.
All right, interesting.
So it's actually a cover of one of his older works, which is kind of interesting. Unless it's just the same name, and I happen to just find it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel bad because as a reviewer, you really want to get into the nitty gritty of things, but there's not really a lot for me to comment on.
No, I mean,
the guy just with himself and vocals and a guitar, and sometimes one or two other elements to it.
Yeah.
So really, all you can pay attention to is his voice, songwriting, storytelling, guitar performance, I guess. Yeah. So those are all pretty standard. His voice is pretty good. I enjoy it. It's not something that's upper echelon, but for what it's trying to do, just like the last album, it fits the vibe that it's trying to go for.
I did like the opener, Salt and Tar. I thought it had a good pace for, obviously being a low-key album. I thought it opened well. Not often, we've talked about the kind of letdowns we've had in the past with the title tracks. I think this one kind of lived up to, what they was trying to do, how it was trying to open the album. I like the whole concept of the day that you were born, you know, I knew that there was more to life than this. So obviously, whether it's his child or whoever, you know, he's telling that story, and you get that from all his lyrics. They're telling some sort of story. Um, and coming in, I mean, obviously, Salt and Tar was probably one of the more, I guess you could say, energetic songs, having the little bit of soloing and percussion in it that some of the other ones didn't quite have.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a decent way to open this album, especially with this type of album.
I can't find where the lyrics are in here for some reason. Are they on like Amazon or something? Or
let me see if I
are you just listening to them?
I'm just listening right now. Yeah, it doesn't, I can't view the lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, X-Ray.
Well, there's some on his website, but they're not like him. They are, but they're not this album.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I found another website that says, yes, Sick and Tired is a cover of the 2008 song.
Oh, okay.
The Pasadena Band is actually what they were called. Ooh. Anyway, Beverly was the next track though. Yes. I actually really like this track. It changes up tempo wise a little bit, a little 3/4 time, a little bit bouncier, a little bit peppier. I like that vocal inflection is out loud in the chorus. Yeah. Where'd you go to, darling? It's a little bit like almost like got an Irish twinge to it.
It's folky.
Well, folkier, yes.
That's kind of what I'm getting out of this with the bouncy guitar and the vocals.
Yeah.
And clearly he's talking about somebody who's no longer around.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I can hear that, what you're saying, that Irish feel. My assumption would be a mother, a grandmother, somebody like that he's say like, that's I can't repay you of the love and the strength that you gave. So it's got to be a mother figure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did this with Joe's last album too. I have a playlist that I curate called Your Name Here, and basically the idea of it is if it's a track that I enjoy that has someone's name as the title, I put it in there. So I added this one to it.
Nice.
Yeah. I really it's weird because this track is similar to the rest of the album in the same aspects that we've been saying, but it was enough to push it over the edge for me. It's that kind of upper echelon singing that he kind of gets into, that kind of tenor range. Mm-hmm. Has a lot of good like note placements as well. Yep. And just that little switch of the tempo change was just enough for me to really get me grooving with this album. So
I really like that song. And it's short. It's literally, I mean, they are all relatively short, but it was like 2 minutes and like what, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
So it comes, it goes, but it sticks with you.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
I think if a song like that hung on too long, it wouldn't, you'd get overdone.
Yeah, for sure.
So it did its job. And then you move on to Sick and Tired, which this was the song that actually got me hooked on this. So I'm interested now to hear the original version, because
actually, I'm going to listen to that right now.
I love this version. I love that it opens with the little plucking, and the plucking is actually a different tempo than the song itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's quicker.
Oh.
You hear how it slows down then? And I love that. And I love that the lyrics and the vocals aren't on like the melody you'd expect them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Being sick and tired. There's a lot of like jammed together lyrics, or lyrics that overhang, or like gaps in the lyrics, the vocals.
Yeah, I'm just listening to the other version of Sick and Tired. It's basically the same thing, just shittily recorded. Sounds like it's really compressed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's I mean, it's similar to the other stuff that he put out. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't really like the lyrics. I think I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, I think is a little cliche. And then like the line, oh, with friends like these, who needs enemies? I thought that was also a little cliche, but I mean, it's still a decent song. Same kind of vibes you're going for the entire album. Like there's nothing really.
I will say, taking the lyrics out and just with the vocals of that part with friends like these, who needs enemies? Oh brother, please, will you humor me? Like where he does the will you humor me? He gets like super. That's like some of that grit I was looking for on the last album. You know what I mean? Just like one spot where he just kind of like hit it a little bit and put a little more emotion into it. So I love that portion of the vocals.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing that fluctuates the most, and you kind of need to show a little bit more, emotion or grit or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, no, I understand. This actually is his most streamed song off this album. It has 26,000 streams.
All right.
So
I also can see, like, I can envision what his show would be like, going to see like a chill acoustic show for him. Like, I feel like he would do a good job. It'd be an interesting show to go see.
That would be interesting. Yeah. I wonder how that would go. I mean, he is on tour right now.
I looked. Closest is going to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Then he's going to the UK.
Yeah, a little
bit. For a little bit.
He'll be back.
Hopefully.
So I really did like that song though. Then you got Respect. Comes in with a little bit more of like a guitar intro.
I love that finger picked, like yeah. There's something that kind of spiced it up a bit.
Yep. And there's a little second guitar in there.
Yes. This track, I don't know if you picked this up, but when I was walking, I kind of have a little bit of a revelation. I was like, this track kind of sounds a little bit like John Mayer.
Yes.
And that's interesting because you're not like the biggest John Mayer fan, so I was wondering how you would take that comparison.
Yeah, well,
I know you like his live album that we did.
I like his live stuff. I like his more blues-based stuff. I don't like his pop stuff. Like when he does acoustic stuff, he kills it. I like his voice. I like it. I think he's a phenomenal guitarist. I just hate when he plays running around the halls of my high school and crap like that. Like that.
Did you know?
Or like he put out that 80s album, like
that we did on the show. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he just needs to play the music he knows how to play.
Did you know the halls of the high school was Joe Sod's high school?
Did not know that. Oh my God.
Who would have thought? Yeah, Respect. I like that second, very, very clean. I don't think it's another acoustic.
It's electric. No, that little electric soloing kind of.
Very clean electric, yeah. That was enough of a secondary element that kept me going for that one.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with this album, and I think that its shortness really, really helps it out. Because if this album went on for 40 minutes,
absolutely not,
I would not be nearly as focused. It would just strictly be background music. Yes. And it's already getting to that point at track 4 or 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, I think a lot of, and again, I don't mean to be rude or whatever, but I think a lot of this kind of music's vibe is that it's background music, or you're doing something else. Like the focus of this album isn't necessarily on the music, I guess. Like it's so like skeletal to the point where there's not a lot that's immediately like drawing you in. Like it's just meant to be pretty chill, which I mean, it plays its cards pretty well, but when you're doing a deep analytical look, I think it's a little bit tougher to do it from this kind of perspective.
No, and I gotta say, I think Respect, if it wasn't for the little guitar soloing, that song is probably the most repetitive on the album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's hard to even, you don't hear the story as well in the lyrics. The vocals are very kind of straightforward, repetitive. The guitar playing is very repetitive. It's not as catchy.
A little bit, yeah.
In my opinion, that's probably the least catchy song on the album. Because now we go over to like Loving Arms, and even like the chorus and stuff sticks out a little more.
Hmm.
You know, where he's going, in your loving arms, my dear. You know, there's a little change up there. It's a little different. He hits a little higher register, so you're like, you perk up for a second. So
Yeah, I like this one. It's a lot shorter.
Here.
It's only 2 minutes and 6 seconds, which I think is the shortest on the album. Yeah. This one's very cute. You know, it's like when I'm having a bad day, I'm gonna run to your loving arms and you'll make me feel better. So it's another one of his storytelling aspects, I guess. So I like his singing. When he gets a little bit higher in that upper echelon, I think is where he shines the most for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing with, I mean, I said it before, you know, it's pretty skeletal. So to kind of have those
moments,
vocal, to be a little bit more bright on the vocal side of things, I think could definitely be a plus. And I think this track shines the most for me in that aspect.
Yeah, and you have that kind of down stepping on the guitar, and then it pops back up. So it changed a little bit. You know, but I thought that song picked it back up.
Yeah, and it's already done.
And then you go into Respect or Regrets, which has a little bit more. It has a little darker sound to it.
Yeah, there's something back there. I don't know if it's like a cello or something, but it's like
yeah.
It's
got almost more of that minor key feel, you know?
Yes. This kind of sounds like a Smooth Series song.
Well, it's got that bounciness, right?
Yeah.
It's got that little bouncy and then the pauses.
I could see you performing this.
Yeah. A little quicker with the lyrics. Got a little more of like a hip hop aspect to them.
And it's the first time we've passed the 3-minute mark in a song.
Okay.
It's 3 minutes flat, so.
All right. Yep. Yeah, this, if anything, would be one that's a little bit more in what I guess you could consider the reggae aspect.
It is, yeah.
That like modern reggae of the Bumpin' Uglies, the Tropidelics, the movement where they've got kind of like that bouncy hip hop aspect that, you know.
Yeah, when he started to get singing, I thought the guitar is pretty repetitive. Like,
It was better when it was a little bouncier.
Exactly, yeah, I think so. You know, especially in the opener. So it was a little one note for me, but I like his lyrics. I think were pretty good.
This almost has like an Ed Sheeran feel to it.
I could see that, yeah, for sure. A little Gaelic.
Yeah, but just with that like kind of quick hip hop-ish lyrics with the acoustic guitar.
Like yeah, this one's a little tough for me. Got a little repetitive, and already you're at the second half of the album where you've kind of got this album pinned down. You kind of know what's going to happen, and so when it
there's a bit of a change up with this one, but it's not necessarily like one of the better songs. And it actually just says, I don't know if you caught that line where it says all these songs are starting to sound the same.
Yeah, can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, I thought that
I was like, that's pretty well timed.
Oh, that was good.
Just that one repeating, which it really got to me. So, The Muse is the next track.
I like this song.
It's about his wife, I believe. I mean, those opening lyrics of you know, him like, oh, he's got the old guitar, and his wife walks in and she's brushing her hair in her underwear, and he's like, thank God I got these two things. Yeah. This one was the most country for me, because I think it has the same songwriting aspects that you see in a lot of country songs, like, oh, I got my music and I got my woman. Those are the two things that I need. It is a good song though.
And he changes the vocals up a little bit too.
Yes, this one is kind of similar to Beverly.
Yeah,
kind of. I think it's 3/4. A bit more of a vocal inflection on this one too.
Yeah, I like the chorus though.
Thinking's the last thing that you ought to do.
And then I like it's got some strings in the background.
Yep. Just got to that part, that little cello or whatever it is.
And you're right, it's in 3/4.
But yeah, like that little change
Yep.
adds so much to the song. Like it's something that you really take for granted that you don't really notice in a lot of songs, but when it gets this skeletal, you definitely notice it.
You start picking.
You know, and that's oh shit, I started thinking I should probably stop.
So picking.
Oh, although I should stop thinking because Joey said to. So
yeah, I like this song. I thought this was a good one. And like you said, it's got enough of a change up that it starts to feel a little something different going on there.
Yeah, the whiskey in this dirty old bar.
Thinking's the last thing that you want to do.
Oh, who does this remind me of? This reminds me of like some mid 2000s like soft rock, like who did fucking Chasing Cars?
Oh god. Is that Goo Goo Dolls or
someone like that? It reminds me of that style.
Maybe the Wallflowers.
Let me look. Snow Patrol.
Snow Patrol.
It reminds me of them, yes. But in a good way, not in a shitty Snow Patrol kind of way. Sorry to Snow Patrol.
And you end with Long Way Home.
I like Long Way Home. This one, I think he showed the most like grittiness. This one sounds like it's kind of a dirtier track.
Yep.
I like when he says "body in a pile." I was like, finally, something that's not, the same thing. So,
I like the guitar.
Yeah, a little bit sonically gets you've got those like palm muted, I guess is the word.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Lifts it for those notes.
And they're all on the ups.
Yep.
So you get that little reggae feel for that. But it's just, I like that he's not just upbeat guitar the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would make it very, very stale. But you have to see the exact same part that I am. Long way home.
Oh, I know it's a long way home.
You're a little bit ahead of me though. Never mind. Yeah, this one he opens it up.
He cuts out and then he goes back to the little palm mute again. There's just a little bit more depth to it.
A little bit quieter, yeah. A
little more dynamic.
Yeah, those dynamics, those energy shifts, they're very important, especially in an album like this. Yeah, I thought it was a good closer. Yeah. Just change it up enough so where it doesn't sound like it could, you keep. What's the saying I'm looking for? If you put this album on shuffle, though, would you get the same experience? Another kind of like track listing thing where I guess the long way home is like, oh, he's coming back home after a long time, maybe on tour or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that could be the closer aspect to it, but I don't know if this necessarily lives up to the closer type like
I got you.
Vibe,
I just don't know. I don't know what other song would.
Exactly, yeah. But
because
I thought it was a good song though.
You've got like The Baby, and then you've got Someone Who Passed Away, and then you've got almost like kind of realizing who your friends are and kind of what's going on in your life.
Yeah, reevaluating.
To then start going back to like your loving arms and your wife, and then ending with like coming home from wherever you were. So almost like reminiscing, like missing home and then coming back.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can kind of see the storytelling throughout.
Yeah, lyrically, it makes sense. But like sonically, I guess is what I meant.
Saying. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I have a hard time because I've only ever listened to it in order.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Sick and Tired being the first song I heard, I listened to it in order. Mm-hmm. So, it's hard to say if they weren't like, I'd recognize probably if they weren't on shuffle, if they're on shuffle, but I agree with you that there's no like, you're not hearing one song into the other. Like when you have that album that you listen to through and through, and you know every note of that album, you hear the next song starting before the last one ends.
For sure,
and I
yeah.
don't know if you're going to quite get that here.
I understand that, yeah.
So I get that.
But yeah, that's the last track on this pretty short album. 21 minutes and 2 seconds exactly.
I got 20 minutes and 58 seconds.
Oh, I don't know where that
bit.
extra 3 seconds came in on Spotify's end, but
Well, yeah, you got 3 extra seconds on there.
there you go. Let's get into some tracks then. I will let you start it off because it was your choice. So
okay, so we're going with our
favorites.
Numero uno. So I'm gonna go with Sick and Tired. Only, and I think, I mean, I am a little bit, what's the word I want to use? Biased on that, because that was the first song I heard ever from him, which made me listen to him. And it caught my attention because of just lyrically, vocally, I liked the vocals. Thought it was I liked the way the chord progression of it. It was something that I went on and learned how to play, just because I thought it was a good song and I liked it. So being that it was the song that kind of really stuck this for me and got me listening to this, that's definitely going to be my number one.
Okay. I went with Beverly as my number one. Just a bit of a change of pace, really shook it up just a little bit. Yep. And now that I listen to it again, because I've listened to this album probably about 6-7 times just to kind of get a good feel for it. Now that I listen to it, it kind of sounds like Landslide by Fleetwood Mac almost. Got those same kind of sounds to it a little bit. Kind of sad in its in presentation, but an overwhelmingly loving sentiments of a missing loved one or whoever it is. And yeah, just that 3-4 time really shook it up. There's, and I think this has been said on other episodes, but I think the difference between the best and the worst is smaller than it will be on other albums, just because it's so, skeletal and there's not too much of a difference between track to track. But for some reason that one just stuck out to me.
Yeah, no, I really did. I liked Beverly. I thought it was a good song. I felt like the songs that he told more of a story were the songs that he did best.
Yeah.
Like they had more emotion, they had more feeling, they had more going on to get you to really stick to it and listen and enjoy it.
What's your least favorite track though?
I think I got to go Dead Center. I got to go Respect. And it's not because I don't like the song necessarily, but if it wasn't for those little guitar licks of those solos, I think it's just a very forgettable song. It's very repetitive. There's no real vocal inflection. There's nothing standout about the lyrics. In a lot of these songs, you had a chorus hook that had a really deep meaning to it. Like, even when you go with I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Okay, that was an interesting little hook, a play on the words, like Beverly, very clear it was about somebody very important passed away. Salt and Tar, very clear that it was about having a child and knowing the difference and, life now. I just felt like Respect to me just was kind of monotonous, and being dead center in the album, it just kind of got lost.
I went with Regrets right after that, for similar reasons. Just that same, except for that beginning where it had that little flare of finger picked guitar or whatever it was. You're like, oh, that's something different. That's pretty interesting. And then it's boom, dip, boom, dip, and then I get that he's trying to do a storytelling track and try to reflect on his past and everything, but when the sound of this album is kind of at the forefront, just because there's not really much else to listen to, it just didn't really live up to the standard that I think was set before it. So I completely understand and respect his choice of whatever he's trying to say on that song, but just very monotonous for me.
Like I said, that song to me was I hate to say a direct ripoff, but a direct Ed Sheeran ripoff. Like that to me was
A little bit,
just
yeah.
with the guitar, the shuffle.
But even with Ed Sheeran, he'd probably have a bit more of a production flair, you know?
You would.
Yeah. Sleepy Dark Horse, though. What do you got for that?
All right.
Were there any singles for this?
I don't really. Well, there's no Wikipedia page. I can't really.
Hold on. I can see on Spotify like singles and albums. So let me see.
Okay. Sick and Tired.
See all. Oh no, I'm still in Pasadena. Hold on. Let me go back here. Sick and Tired was a single,
okay.
and Salt and Tar was a single.
Okay.
That's it. Oh, and the Muse was released in 2021
as a single. Okay.
Yes.
Oh well, yeah, I can actually look it all. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's his Bumpin' Ugly song. It's called Mechanics and Barstools.
Is it with him?
Bumpin' Uglies and Joey Harkum. Yeah.
Released or being released?
It's already out. Well, that was last year. They put out a song together.
Okay, so they must have another one coming out this year.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, no Sick and Tired, no Salt and Tar, and no Muse.
Yeah.
I guess you still can say it because well, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stepping all over your choice, but an album with not a lot of like,
I was actually going to go with Long Way Home.
Okay.
I thought Long Way Home was a great way to end it. Pick the tempo up a little bit, but still kind of telling that story of like, if this is a top to bottom, him kind of having a kid and everything, and maybe leaving for tour and everything else, and then coming back, like it kind of really wrapped up. I like the pomming, I like the shuffling, I like the pauses that it had in it. His vocal inflection, he changed up a little bit. I thought that Long Way Home was just, for the last song on the album, was a very good song. So you kind of like waited for it and you got it. So yeah.
I would actually agree. That is also my sleeper. For everything you said, and also I think that just very slight different vocal inflection that he incorporates into this, I think was just enough to be like, oh, it's a little different. So yeah, I'd say Long Way Home is my slipper.
Nice.
But let's get into the rating of the album. Mike, it is your album of choice. You can start with the ratings.
So we got 8 songs. So short album, 20 minutes, you know. I got to give it a 7.5.
Okay.
You know, for what it is, I really, really like it. I wish it had a little bit more diversity, a little bit
definitely
more,
agree.
You know, kind of have a straight up reggae song if you're a reggae guy. You know what I mean? Like, maybe throw a little more percussion in there, because with a couple of, the opening track had 2 guitars and a little bit of tambourine, and throw a little percussion in there, a little bit of a djembe or a bongos or something, cajon, just to, you know, spice it up a little bit. I do like the idea that it's acoustic and that it's low key and that it's very chill. But it could have used maybe just a little bit more flair, I guess, as you said before. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of my biggest thing. Other than that, I really like his voice. I think he's a very, very clean guitar player, which goes really well with his voice. And I think he's a really good storyteller in his lyrics. So that's, and then I'm not going to rate it super high because it is a vibe out. I'm not going to be out there, you know, freaking splitting wood in my yard or mowing the lawn listening to this album. You know what I mean? Working out and listening to this album. It's just not going to happen. But sitting by a campfire, going for a chill boat ride, like just waking up in the morning and making breakfast and needing something that's low key on there, like this is going to be a new go-to for me. It has been for like the last couple of days or week or so of just listening to like, hey, I really like the feel of this album. I like what he's doing. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you pretty much said everything I was going to say. So I would give this probably about a 6 or so.
Okay.
For a couple reasons. First one is that it's very short, 20 minutes or whatever it is. And it's pretty one note for the entire thing. There are very, very slight differences in some of the, you know, inflections, or very, very different or very small differences in like another guitar or slightly, or maybe like the cello or whatever it is back there.
Yep.
And I can't speak on his whole discography because this is the only kind of taste I've had of his. And
Yep.
maybe he does lean more into the reggae or the folk or the acoustic or whatever element that he should have incorporated more of into this.
Yeah.
So maybe this was the kind of stray away album that is just him, guitar, vocals, and whatever kind of very slight differences.
Yep.
I mean, I can't say just because I haven't listened to everything, but maybe on some of his other stuff he has incorporated those other kinds of elements into it. And maybe down the road we cover another one of his things, because it seems like he's been around for quite a bit of time with his other band, and with his solo stuff he's been putting out stuff since 2011, so 11 years ago. So
he has another album that came out last year called Storyboard. And right on the cover itself is him with acoustic, a second guitarist on electric, a full drum kit, and then a guy playing stand-up bass. And and if you just quickly throw on the first song, first 20 seconds, you're going to hear the entire difference in the type of music that he made. So this is definitely a different album.
Yes.
Right
and
off
maybe
the bat, baka, da, 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 da,
yeah, I've just turned it on now. So
nothing compared to what we just listened to.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah.
I just got to the full band.
And it's good. Okay. I mean, I've listened to that album as well, and I thought it was really good. The reason I went with the other one is not only is it new, it was the first one I heard, and I kind of wanted to go with the run of the first full album I listened to. Then I went back and I listened to this album after the fact, and I really did like it. But it's like two completely different.
Mm-hmm. This one, I know we say it a lot. This one's almost a little Rosenstock-ish.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna have to listen to this later.
Yeah,
but
maybe that'll be one we do, in the future.
But strictly talking about Salt and Tar, like we were saying before, it's good in its own setting, like where you're gonna listen to it. I mean, again, I walked for probably about an hour and a half today. I threw this on a handful of times, and it was pretty nice. It was nice with the breeze coming in, seeing some kind of trees or some kind of wilderness exploration. It was pretty pleasant, but not a lot of staying power for me, so I'd probably give it about a 6.
Okay.
And speaking of rating things, how about we rate this beautiful Surfside iced tea vodka? Mike, give me a number.
This is tough, man.
Are you gonna do it?
I think I gotta go 10 with this.
Are you actually gonna do it? Wow.
So because
that's big.
I don't do it often on the drinks because there's always a little something that I'm like, they could have done, but I don't know what else you could do with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's iced tea, very low on the sugar end, so you're not getting the like hangover or that extra bite that you're getting with like the twisted tea. It's got the vodka mix in, which I personally think that's smoother than the malt liquor version, plus it's not carbonated.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes just like a good iced tea, and it gets you drunk.
That's always good.
and on a fucking hot ass muggy day like this heat wave we're about to have, I mean, shit. I guess the only knock I could give this is that they only come in a 4-pack.
But that's not against the drink itself.
But that has nothing to do, exactly.
That's the packaging.
I literally just have to go out and pay $30 for 12 of them, which sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fucking delicious. I don't know what I could say bad about it.
Wow.
Which is why I had to go with the 10. I mean, go
ahead. They're good.
I don't know.
I'm not the biggest iced tea guy in the world, so I think that's what's stopping me from giving it that 10. But I mean, you're right. There's not a lot to complain about. Like, this is the best iced tea and vodka mix that you're gonna get. I really did like it though. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. I think is right where I'm gonna go. Again, like the album, if it's in the right setting. I don't know if I can drink iced tea like in the wintertime. I don't know if I probably stopped myself from doing that. But like you said, if you're outside working, you can even bring these to the golf course, like our fairway beer that we just did too.
And it's also, here's the thing with this too, which I don't think we've really talked about in the past with drinks, is you can drink 3 of these and switch over to 1 or 2 of these, and you're not getting a flavor mix that's going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? These are so, this is like going into the bar and like, hey, I need something refreshing. Give me an iced tea quick.
Yeah.
But instead you're actually still drinking. So I think it mixes well with other drinks. Like if you're having beers and you're having like that, you know, you're not going to switch over and have one of these and be like, oh man, that didn't sit well.
Plus, I think this probably pairs with more things. If you're talking like food pairings or whatever, like I feel like this could probably go with like barbecue or burgers or whatever summertime foods that you enjoy. I feel like this definitely would slide right in with those kind of things. If you're sipping it on the side with dinner or whatever it is, I think you could definitely do that.
For sure.
Wow, 10 out of 10 for the Surfsides. That's awesome. Let's shout them out then, if that's the case.
I actually, after last episode, I pre-looked up both Instagram handles.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, then they're both simple. You know, just at Joey Harkum on Instagram for his music, and just at Stateside Vodka.
If you want to get to their actual websites, though, it is 𝙎𝙬𝙚𝙚𝙚. That one is pretty easy. And Stateside, I just had it up, store.statesidevodka.com. You can probably just go to statesidevodka.com and find it. They actually sell like 1 3/4 liters of just Stateside vodka by itself for like $40.
Yeah.
So if you want to get just the vodka, then you can do that. I think their biggest pull for me is their vodka sodas that I've been introduced to this year. I mean, that's a genius move if you're a vodka company to make good vodka sodas or vodka mixes like this iced tea one. I think it's very, very clever on their end.
I'm just, hey, Stateside, I'm waiting on you to make vodka lemonades.
Yeah. Ooh, and it looks like they have a 24-pack of Surfsides for $59.94. Do they have different flavors of it? Because it looks like they do, but I could be wrong.
That I did not know.
Because they're like outlined in different colors, but it looks like they're the same thing. So I could be wrong. Yeah. Anyway, Statesides, they're very good. Wow. So I definitely recommend them. They might just be 4 6-packs, because it's a 24-pack for $60, which this kind of sounds expensive, but yeah, it's not carbonated, so you're not gonna get bubbles, which I guess I don't know. That's not really like a big pull against it for me.
No, but it does make it a smoother drink.
I would say so too. Yeah.
You can drink more of them, and you can drink them a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
Without that like fullness.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. So, all right, that's been episode 97. Episode 98, we're gonna leave as a TBD, because getting close to episode 100 just makes me all excited. So
yeah, we're getting there.
I can't wait. So thank you so much for listening to the Hops and Bops podcast. Go follow us on all of our social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I guess YouTube is a social media platform, I guess. Whatever. If you have a social media that you like, Tumblr. You remember Tumblr? You remember Hot or Not?
Ooh,
that was like an early version of Tinder.
Interesting.
Anyway,
we digress.
Follow our blog spot, I guess. Follow our live journal.
Ooh,
you like that one? Yeah.
www.creedthoughts.
It's just a Word doc. Ryan helped me set up this website. Yep, we're streaming live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, all these other good ones. Again, if you have a streaming service, we're probably on it. Go follow us on all those things. Thank you guys for listening. We really do appreciate it. Go listen to our back catalog. I got a whole bunch of good episodes back there, whole bunch of good ones. So thank you for listening. And for Mike, I've been Tom. We will see you guys next time.
Peace.